Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm gonna start with importing and exporting Excel file to the database. So sometimes you will encounter some problems like if you create an project, sometimes or most of the time they already have an Excel sheet or Excel files contains all the students name, all students information or the products information or anything you want. So instead, if you just go to add here every time and try to add and then add each user or each student or each product here, each item like separately in the database, you can just import the Excel file and Excel file will insert it directly to the database, to the MySQL database. So it's really very important. So we'll start with that now. So first thing, I will just add a button here for export, and here also add like file to click on it and then we can import the file. So let's start directly with that. So here we have the add button, so we can just copy it and paste it to add export here. Export, just the we'll start just with the design UI, and you can see we have export. Perfect. Now here we need just to start with the import file. So we can just add a form because import file should be in the post, type post, so method post, and also we need to write ink type here equal like this multi part form, like when we want to add the image. Same thing here and add the file. Also we have char set here equal UTF-8 here, accept char set equal UTF-8, and now just close it, and we need just to write csrf function srf, and here we just add the div.container. Perfect. So here we need to add an input file and name it, for example, Excel or any name you want. Same thing here, we need to add another one just for button to upload or to import. So I need to add input, and the class will be btn primary, for example, and you can add anything you want. That's it. So now if we just see that here, perfect. Now we have this and we have import, so we can just select the file and then click import to import it to the database instead of using add. So you can do anything like this here, and when you click on the export, we can just export everything. Now we're going to start with using a package. You can just go to the Google and just say Laravel Excel, so it will make your word easier here. Laravel Excel, this like a package, you need just to install it in the your project. Then go to the documentation. After that I will go directly to the installation. So here the requirement, and here you can just use this here, or sometimes if you face a problem, encounter any problem with Laravel 9, you can use this. So I'll start just using this directly. So I can add another terminal here and just add it. So yes, here I have a problem with as you can see, if you read here, you see has a problem with like GD and something like that. I don't need to explain that now because I have did it before, but now I can just say like this, ignore. So I can just click on this, copy, ignore, and just write this again with ignore. So I can just ignore the ext, this extension, GD extension. Maybe we'll talk about this later, but you can just ignore it. So now you can just compose it again with ignore, and it will install it without any problem. Now as you can see, it's installed. After install successfully, actually you can do something also here. Provider, you don't need to do anything here because automatically we have 9, and also you don't need to do that. Just you can publish the files here if you want, and it's not like very important. You can do it or not. Maybe you need to edit some files, so you can just publish the files and then work with them. So I will publish it, so I don't have any problem with that. Now just publish, finish. After that, now we are finished everything. Now you can just go to the documentation and just start. For example, here import, you can just go here and you can just see, just try to read this to understand everything. I have read it before, so I don't need to do anything here. I will just directly start working, so you can just follow me here. So first thing, I need to create import. So to start importing, we need to create import files. So php artisan make import, and then the name of it, for example user, and here you can say for which model equal user. You can do it in this way. That's it. So finish. So now you can see we have if you go here in the http and app, inside it you can see imports, and we have user import, and inside it we have this. Actually you don't need that now. I will just delete it because this is like by default, but we have another way to do that. So from the documentation you can find everything, but I already have some files, so I will just add it. So here I will just import those files. I don't need to model here, I don't need it, so I will just import those. So you can find all those inside the documentation, but if you want, just add those. Now implement what? I will implement this with heading row, so I will add it. I will show you why this thing. Also I need to import skip empty. All of those I need just to implement those like interfaces. So I need here some methods to work with that. So this interfaces, so I need just to implement some method. So first thing, I need function called collection. Inside it you can see collection. Also I need the rule function to add some rules. So we'll return array, so I can just add it in this way, and here I can just return an array, and I will make it now. Also I need heading row and batch size, so I can just say function heading row like this, will return integer, and I can return here 1, which means I have the heading in the Excel will be in the row 1, the first row, and batch size also will return integer. I can return, for example, 100. Function, of course. That's it. So now, for example, when we import a file to the database, maybe the file contains 1000 or maybe 1 million rows, or 1 million user, for example, or 1000, 5000. So it's like really difficult to insert it directly to the database. So we need just to convert it or like divide it into batches, like some packages, and insert it by package. So for example, 100, the first 100, and then insert the second 100, not all of them together. So this is important here. Batch size. So here we have created the Excel file. You can see here I have created Excel file, the user. I name it user. You can create an Excel file, but you should take care that here you can just program this here depending on the Excel file, your Excel file. So I need the Excel in this way, so I can just program it in this way, or I can say that you can format the Excel file depend on this as you like. So I've created this Excel file, like you can see here. I have ID, name, email, password. Of course you can add anything, it depends, but I have a user table, so only contains this. So ID, name, any email, any password, as you like. But as I said here, the headline, the header at the first row. So this is the header at the first row. So I just said that here, headline. In the rules also I can add, for example, I have name, so like validation. So name, I can say it is required. Same thing for email, it is required, for example. It depends, so anything you want, it depends on what you want. Any validation, like we have explained before, you can add it also here. And we have also password. Of course you can add anything. For example, I can say minimum 3, for example. Anything you want. Also in the email I need it maybe unique, so I can just import here rule from validation here. Should take care about that. It's the from validation rule, or here it's different. You can say users table and email. So email will be unique, not repeated. So now finish. Also the rules. Now in the collection, we need just to insert anything from the Excel file to the database. So we can just using for each just to loop. I can name it, for example, row. This like a rows in the Excel file, rows, and I can say rows as row. And here I will just add it inside the database. So just like anytime, just user model and create. But now from where? From rows, from the Excel file. So for example, the name, not from request, but from row now. And the row should have name in the row. So now in the first row, we have name. So ID automatically, so name, and then email, and then password. So I can't just delete the ID because it's not important. It will be automatically. But now just name, email, and password. So you should add the same name here. If you add another thing here, you should add it, same thing. So row name and the email to encrypted. So you can use hash function and make. Perfect. So here just we have rules, not rule. Now actually we almost finished the import. Now we need just to make a route for that. So I can just say here should be post, and from in the I will just make it in the user controller here. So same controller. I don't need to add another one. You can add another controller if you want. So I've just created like this, and here I can just create a function for that. So the first function for Excel, that's it, and the second one will be export. We will apply the export, but now just import. We should make it. So now here in the import, I need to go to the user controller class and the function here import Excel, and the route name will be import, only import. That's it. So finish now for the import. Now we finish that, and we finish the most important thing, which is here the import. Now we need just to add it here in the controller. When we click the button here, now in the index, when we click the import here, submit, and this is the form I have created. So I can just go to the route here, which route, which is import. I have named it import. So now when I click on this click here, I will go to the user controller and import Excel. Import Excel. So here I can just use the Excel facade, Excel here, and then import. Then here just a new user import that I have created, and the request. So here user import this class, and then the request from the form. So we have file and the name of the file Excel. So I can just add it here and name it Excel. That's it. So here request, we can just import it, request. So now I have request, and I can just return back to the index with message. So I can just copy this message here, redirect, return back to the user, imported successfully. So now finish everything. Now we can just try this. We have this Excel file, as I've told you, in the desktop. So now here you can just refresh to check there's no problem. Route import, yes, as I've told you always, when we create a new route, you need just to clear the cache. So just route cache to clear the cache. So perfect, it's working. Now refresh again. Sorry, just here in the user, so I cannot just like array. So here I should add it in this way, not like this. So it's working in this way from the documentation. So email, sorry for that, import again. So here try import, then here we have the user file, the desktop, and then just import. Now as you can see I have all the users here, Osama, Ahmad, Omar, and so on, all of them here, and we have another all 10 now imported here, imported in the database, and just add it here in the database. Same thing, if we just refresh, we can find all of them here. So now we just make the import successfully. Now we need just to make the export also. So the first thing with export, we need like import, we need just to make export here, not import now, PHP artisan make export, and we can name it user export, and for model user same thing, created successfully. So now we don't need import here, and in the web we can just make it. Also in the controller we already create for export, so I will just add another one for export. I need just get, just to download the file, so I don't need post here. So the type here is get, and here export, and export Excel, and here export. Perfect. And as I've told you, you need just to make route cache, always you need that. And here in the index, here we have the button for export, so we can just add export here, route. Now we need just to program it. First thing in there, we have created the export, so we can find the export here somewhere, here export and export. So also I don't need all of those, I will just try to show you how can I make it. I just need to read the documentation. So first thing, I need just to import those here. I don't need this, I need to import those, just use those, and then implement here. So the first thing with heading, I need to create function here, query function, and heading function, also map function. So in the query, I need just to return everything from user, return user, and I can say query, that's it. So we return everything from user. Now the heading, what we have the heading in the, we need the heading, we need ID, name, email, password, or another thing, anything you can just add in the Excel, so you can just return. So simple, ID, I need ID, I need, so in this heading, we have this heading, and now what we need inside it, we need the information from the user. So also we will return it. So I can just say here, row, I need first thing ID. Here we have ID in the heading. Here I need to get the ID, and here also I need to get the, from the database, I need to get the name from the database to the Excel, and then that's it. So now finish the export. In the import we say draw, and then like array, and say ID and name, because get it from the Excel. Now we need to get the database to the Excel file. This here is like in contrast. So now perfect, everything is finished. Now we need just to go to the here. So here we just need to return also Excel download. Here you can say download to download the file, and new download what, user export, that I have created now. And here the name of the file, you can name it anything, for example users, or you can add any name actually to the file. SX export, yes. So now you can see, I think it's exported, yes. Here you can see should be user, yes, user information, perfect. Now as you can see, everything from database added here with the password, encrypted password and email and ID, everything you can just see it. If you add other data in the database, also it will work, and you can export it again. You can import, but of course you cannot import the same data here because the email is unique, so you should change it and just export it. So hope you understand that, and thank you very much.